This Week in Gaming! It's March 16th, 2026. Welcome in, everybody. I hope you're having a fantastic day. It's another Monday. Just getting into it. We're going to get a little bit wild and wacky today. We got a lot to talk about. Let's start off with some wins and fails. This week, we have unsafe users, painful propaganda, sales slump, partner pieces, and online only. Let's take a look at our first fail. Going to game devs feel unsafe. Many international devs are skipping San Francisco's Game Developers Conference due to safety concerns. An International Game Developers Association survey found that 30% of previous attendees have decided not to return, with immigration concerns being the primary reason. GDC President Nina Brown's response was to lower the new festival price by 45% to $649 and introduce a 24/7 safety hotline, which is where you can speak with like legal representation and people to help you in case you try to get deported. At the event, many attendees discussed concerns surrounding the unstable job market and concerns about the future of the US as the hub for the global games industry. Get back to work, Kieran, and I don't mean marathon. Wait, Kieran's here. Hey, what's up? So yeah, this is kind of a weird one, and I don't really know how to tackle this. Obviously, there's a lot of controversy in America right now. It's not the coolest place to be, and I understand why a lot of people feel unsafe. I don't think that anyone's gonna get deported. I think that might be a bit of an exaggeration. I don't think people visiting get deported. It's like people who've been here for a while, but I don't know. In this current climate, you can never be too sure, I suppose. I think that's kind of the main issue with America right now, is that there's so much lack of being sure. Hang on, let me turn down the music a little bit. Everything feels so up in the air. So I feel people when they're, concerned. Wow, that was 1K to go to those. That's crazy. Yeah, they what was it? It was about 45%. So let's do the math on this calculator. So they dropped the ticket price for the all access pass or whatever from $649. What was 45%? So that would be $649. So it'd be X times 4. So we divide by 0.45, right? So it was $1,442. That's crazy. It was like $1,400 to go, and they dropped it to $650. They were like, please go. Also, it's San Francisco. I mean, San Francisco is a very liberal place. I think you're fine there. I don't think anyone's getting deported. Fuck that. Honestly, if I had known this was going on, I might have gone. That'd be kind of cool. I know the real reason they aren't going. Probably because it's expensive and they don't really want to go. I don't know. It is interesting though that there is this like stigma around the country, and it's really affecting other people that like have like, obviously GDC has no control over like the current administration and like the immigration efforts going on. New meme template just dropped in the Discord. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Whoa, that's nice. You caught me taking a photo of the stream. So yeah, I think the main concern here that I've noticed is there's kind of like the stigma around the United States, because a lot of people are upset about all the firings. That's like another big topic. Is like so many game developers are getting fired. And like the United States has kind of been the hub for gaming for a while, even though Japan makes like most of the best games. And I think a lot of people are trying to move away from that. I think there's a big push to try to globalize the gaming market a little bit. Plus, I think a lot of people just don't want to appear physically to locations like this. So I'm not sure. Anyways, moving on to our next story. We're doing a win going to the Halo voice actor for protesting against propaganda, or I guess at least speaking out against it. Steve Downs, voice of Master Chief, spoke out against the propaganda video put out by the White House titled Justice the American Way. This video includes a famous line from Master Chief, clips of famous movies, and videos of real airstrikes mixed in, which is just unbelievable. Like, what are we doing? Like, what? This is such a, like, we're living in a parody right now. Like, we're living in a South Park episode. Ben Stiller was also another prominent person who spoke out against their work being used without permission. The United States has done this a lot lately. Like, there was most notably, there was like Sabrina Carpenter. She like talked openly about how she didn't like them using her music and like a lot of stuff like that. The US government kind of just uses people's work and just goes like, what are you gonna do about it? We're the government. Like, what? Anyways, I'm sure you want to see the video. I know you want to see the video, so let's take a look at it. It wasn't even an American. It was a Scottish. Okay. And then just real drone strikes. People like actually dying. It's so cringe. Dog, what the fuck kind of fan fiction is this? You have no sound? Oh. I've had sound off this whole time. Professional streamer, guys. This VOD has no music up until now. By the way.
Strength and honor. Strength and honor.
What will you do?
We'll give it to you again.
You can't conceive of what I'm capable of.
It's so
Finishing this fight.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
I am the danger.
They're literally making fan fiction.
Maximum effort.
Here it comes.
Now end this. Flawless victory.
Guys, I don't want to live here anymore. I don't want this anymore, please. Professional streamer. I know. Using a clip from the movie about a Scottish freedom for America. Right? That's what I'm saying. It's so dumb. It doesn't even make sense. But I don't know. I almost feel like this is just bait to like get people pissed off. Like, this is so dumb. And the United States keeps doing things like this. We talked about this before. They did another video where they just like, it's just blatant propaganda. I don't know. It kind of concerns me when the government that I live within the boundaries of, the government that has control over my entire life is just openly putting out propaganda like this. Like, it's just scary. I don't really like, I don't really like propaganda, to be honest. You know what? It's not even that I don't like propaganda. I don't like when it's so obvious. Like, if you're gonna push propaganda to me, at least make it like nuanced, right? Like, make it like, oh, you know, like I could support that. Like, this is like clearly them trying to fucking, I don't know. It's just cringe. It's weird. I don't like it. My brain, like, it sees this and it immediately recognizes it as propaganda and goes like, it like shuts off. It's like a defense mechanism. Like, I just immediately reject it in my brain. I don't know. It's just so random. I'll book your tickets. Like, slopping 1,000 clips together. Looks like it was made by a 12-year-old in CapCut, right? But it was made by our Department of War. Not even defense anymore. It's the Department of War. What the fuck are we doing, dude? Anyways, moving on to our next fail. That wasn't a fail because it was a W that the voice actor for Master Chief was saying he didn't support that. Oh shit. Hello? Our fail goes to Sega complaining about sales. Sega's latest financial results have shown that despite strong critical acclaim, they have failed to translate into sales. Despite publishing highly rated games such as Metaphor ReFantazio and Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza, and Hawaii, holy shit, that's a long title, sales have remained stagnant. The publisher also lost $200 million on Angry Birds developer Rovio. Sega believes the solution is improving their marketing and global publishing organization. Their current main area of growth is the Sonic merchandise, though. They're making most of their money from licensing currently. America, hell yeah. So they they lost $200 on the Angry Birds developer Rovio, and I didn't even know that they owned them, which is kind of crazy. Like, when did they buy Rovio? That's a great question. When did Sega buy Rovio? That's like the first thing that comes up. 2023, dude. That's crazy. Sega finalized its acquisition of Angry Birds creator Rovio Entertainment August 18th, 2023, valued at $776 million. Who the fuck saw Angry Birds in 2023 and was like, I need that? Are we joking? See, this message was better propaganda than fucking real. Than the fucking real. What? What, them buying Rovio? I don't know what you're talking about. This is like the dumbest purchase ever. Who almost spends $1 billion on the Angry Birds creator? Does Angry Birds even make money? Well, clearly not, because they've lost 200 million of that. They turned 776 million into 500 million. Like, good for you guys. But it is interesting because every single Sega game has actually been pretty well received. Like a Dragon was like 93% on Steam, and Metaphor ReFantazio was a very famous game. But apparently neither of them like met their sales goals. So they think that their issue is that they're not marketing well enough. When you read the America message, you went, hell yeah, brother, so better. Did I really? It's just when an American sees America, they just go, hell yeah. They don't even think about it. It's a knee-jerk reaction. That's so funny. They can be good games, but not exactly broad appeal, I think. I think that's true too. But also, I didn't even know Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza, and Hawaii even came out. Like, I do gaming news every week. And that maybe we talked about it, but I don't remember that ever being a thing. So I think that there is some truth to the fact that they're not marketing well. So I don't know. But you're right. They don't really have as many like very famous brands other than Sonic, right? They don't have anything that has broad appeal like that. So that's probably also another part of it. But yeah, I think that they should continue making the same quality games that they are. They just need to improve their marketing a bit. They've also another point that they made was that they need to work on their global publishing, which I'm not sure what that means in particular. They were kind of vague on it. Tell Parsi to bring the fam in Discord. Can't tell them to do anything. I also think they're not really household games like Elden Ring. They didn't publish Elden Ring, did they? No, they didn't. Elden Ring is a household game, or is that what you're saying? I don't know. But yeah, so they have some work to do, it seems, which is kind of funny because it shows that you can make a good game but still not like find an audience if you're not getting it out correctly. Anyways, let's go to a win. To devs team up after a coincidence. This is honestly the most wholesome story I've seen in a while, so I'm happy to talk about this. Two developers accidentally released a game under the same title, piece by piece, days apart from each other. Instead of taking each other to court or having some sort of beef, the devs decided to team up, selling their game in the piece by piece double bundle with a 10% discount. Although they share names, the two games are quite different. One is a cozy puzzle game where players use pieces. I said uses pieces. Oh wait, yeah, no, that's correct. The player uses pieces to rebuild environments, and the other is a story-based game centered around inheriting a repair shop where you fix things up, decorate, and cook. So they're very different games, but they just happen to release almost at the same time with the same name, which is kind of funny. I just think it's kind of cute that they teamed up and like made a bundle together. Respect, everyone likes that. Yeah, I like the way indie games usually handle things like this. I've become really disheartened with like the way that AAA studios will just sue you if you have like a fucking Pokeball in your game. That's crazy. Oh, fuck! I forgot about There is something I want to talk about. This I don't have a slide for this, but I did want to talk about this. What is it called? There was a Pal World ripoff. I'm just gonna look up Pal World ripoff. What was it fucking called? I can't remember. It's made by a game called Pocket Gear, I think. It doesn't even come up when I look it up. It's such a is it called Pikmon? Dude, if I look up Pikmon, it just gives me Pokemon. Pikmon. There it is. So there was this game that was announced that's a blatant ripoff of Pal World. Except the difference is you use trading cards instead of Pokeballs. Very smart, very cool of them. Let's just take a look at the trailer. I think it's worth just talking about. Yeah, 1080p. Link is also the main character. Yeah, it's crazy. It's blatantly Link from Breath of the Wild. It's actually Pal World. What in the Nintendo lawsuit is this masterpiece? What? Wait, what's he doing to the tree? Hang on, what is he doing? He's fucking the tree. He's getting in there. We have sexually ambiguous Link as the main character. And then this is literally the crafting system from Pal World. Like, are we so for real right now? That literally looks like the Anubis character from Pal World. That looks like the penguin from Pal World, and he's even pushing the same fucking grinding wheel thing. And then there's like this is so blatantly Pal World. And that even looks like the panda character from Pal World. It's crazy. Off-brand Pikachu. This is crazy to me. And then they also have guns. Isn't that literally the mammoth swine from Pal World? Isn't that literally it? I mean... Oh, wait, that's not... Wait, what the fuck's it called? What's the mammoth? The mammoth swine's a Pokemon. Mammoth Pal World. What the fuck is it called? Mammorest. Is this not Mammorest? Is that not literally the same fucking thing? When they put a rock on its back. Okay, never mind, it's different. That's crazy. They did the Akira slide. Okay. Oh, it was a Pal. Or what? There's Roadhog as well. Is that Jet Dragon? I think that's literally Jet Dragon from Pal World. I bet you can fuck that last one. And then here's Link using his glider, probably. Oh no, he's using Jet Dragon. Dude, that's crazy. Like, I know a lot of people kind of are like on the fence on whether or not Pal World stole stuff from Pokemon. And I think most people give it a slide because it's so unique. It's so different from anything Pokemon's ever made. And this is literally Pal World. Mods do something. 5 minutes of neglect. I was watching a video. Can't do nothing for 2 seconds. Let's see. What in the Nintendo lawsuit is this masterpiece? Like I said, he's blind. Link's also the main character. I don't exist, it seems. Shut up. Make one quick. We'll wait. BTS type shit. Pikmon. It's not a ripoff. It's inspired. Let's all play it together on launch. I don't even know if this will. It's online.
Zen
it is
give
online co-op.
KEZZS attention.
I literally just read like 3 of his messages. Pure neglect stream. I can't even watch a video without yeah, I have to respond to every single message while watching a video. Just copy pasting the same message 3 times until he reads the message. Mods do something is crazy. I really don't like how strong the texture detail quality difference between the monsters and the world seems like the crafting table, etc. is. It doesn't matter if you steal, to be honest, as long as you do the work yourself. I kind of agree with that. I think to a certain extent though, it is kind of blatantly like if you're making the exact same game, which this is kind of what it looks like. It looks like literally Power World. I have an issue with that when it's like mechanically and visually entirely the same. Like literally that's the same chest that you pick up. That's Dig Toys right there. Like what are we doing, dude? This is just the same game, dude. It's actually crazy. Like this is too far. Like they've definitely taken it too far. Here's Power World, by the way. Also, the other company's called Pocket Gear. This company's called Pocket Pair. Like it seems too far. Like they've gone too far with it. Even the way that they introduced the game feels the same. Like the trailers felt the same. I mean, legally it's usually not illegal unless it's Japan. That's true. Japan's pretty harsh with their copyright laws. Art style, for example, isn't trademarked. That's true, but you can trademark characters. Like I can't make like Mickey Mouse in the same style that Disney does. I can make a mouse, but it can't be Mickey Mouse. See, like we literally just saw that little penguin character. Also, an interesting thing that I've noticed about this is you're actually seeing gameplay. We didn't see any gameplay in that last trailer, so I don't think there's actually a game there. I think they just made a cinematic and just made Power World. It looks so similar, like the Dig Toys and everything. Look, that's literally the same characters we saw in the other trailer. What the same color scheme and everything. Dog, what? Is that not the same character? Hold up. Hello? Error occurred while playing the... What the fuck do you... We're literally playing the video. Where was it? It was like right around here. Where is he? Am I losing my mind? Oh yeah, there it is. It's literally the same character. Like, what? I don't know how they're gonna get away with that. I think that's too blatant. How would Steam react if you upload the exe of another Steam game? That's a great question. I am very curious about that. Power World looks way more cohesive and high quality. No, you're totally true. You're totally true. You're totally right. Michael Mouse. This whole Pokemon ripoff genre needs to die. I mean, I like Power World. I don't get me wrong. I think Power World is a relevant game that should be allowed to survive. I think that Power World becoming its own genre where people just make the same game is the problem. or Pokemon needs to die. I mean, it's obvious that Pokemon has left a hole in the market that they're not filling because they don't make good games. So I don't blame people for wanting something that's actually decent from the same kind of genre. It just happens with anything popular. Not really. Like you don't see like an Assassin's Creed ripoff, right? Like I'm sure they exist, but no one's playing like Assassin's Creed ripoffs because there's not a demand for it. Assassin's Creed has kind of already done everything that the franchise can do. Pokemon hasn't even scratched the surface of what people want from it. They still have so much room to grow, and indie games are filling that space. Oh my gosh, Akira's back. What the hell? Oh my gosh. Evolution happens with good stuff. It just happens with anything popular. You're joking, right? There is an Assassin's Creed ripoff? Bruh. I can literally name 10 Assassin's Creed clones. I can't think of one. Assassin's Creed clone. Ghost of Tsushima's considered a clone? That's pretty sick. But you don't have, like, really blatant games like that. I don't know. If there are so many ripoffs games like Power World, why was there never a large Minecraft ripoff? What do you mean, dude? What was it? What was that? What was that one famous Minecraft ripoff? Minecraft ripoff. It's like Castle something. Survival craft, block craft, 3D crafting, and build. Like, there's so many of them. Dude, there's so many Minecraft ripoffs. Hypixel. Oh, Castle Miner. Yeah, was it Castle Miner Z or something like that? That game was awesome. That was before Minecraft was on Xbox. So I remember playing that on Xbox, and it was so much fun. Hytale. Yeah, Hytale's another one. That's a more recent one. There are so many procedural type games with crafting. Yeah, that directly spawned from Minecraft. But none got so much marketing. I'm speaking to the Castle Miner dev to come and do a talk to my students. That's so cool. I actually have seen a lot of his videos. He seems like a cool guy. Anyways, let's go on to our next story. We have a fail going to Crimson Desert Online's requirement. Or Crimson Desert's online requirement. A leak shows Pearl Abyss's single-player sequel to Black Desert Online will require PS5 users to connect to the internet in order to play. There will also be a 48 gigabyte day one patch for the game. Users pointed out that they could fit the game onto 2 discs, but chose not to. So the game's going to be like about 150 gigabytes, and the Blu-ray discs can only hold 100 gigs. So they decided to put it in a update instead of paying extra to give someone an extra disc. And then Pearl Abyss clarified in their FAQ that an internet connection is only required for the initial patch, but can be played offline afterwards. So they kind of dodged a bit of a controversy here. People are still kind of upset about the 48 gigabyte day one patch, but mostly people were upset about they thought you would only be able to play the game if you connect to the internet. Okay, Akira, I'm sorry, you have to stop. You have to stop. This is you've gotten to like spamming levels. I would adjust your bot to not make so much text and also not to make so many responses. Like I have my bot has like a character limit of like, I don't know, 50 characters. It'll try to make a brief message. Like I can't read anything else people are trying to say because it's just the bot. Minecraft didn't get any marketing. That is true. They never did like any ads until like after the game was already huge. I think the first Minecraft ad was for like it coming to Xbox, if I'm correct. It just got big. By the way, he's making Castle Miner 2. That's so sick. The biggest thing about clones is they rarely succeed the big dogs. They're just bottom feeding. That's true. Sometimes you do have like clones that become bigger. Like I would say Fortnite was kind of a clone of like PUBG. You remember PUBG was like this massive like 100-player battle royale type game, and then Fortnite was not that, and it started failing, so they pivoted to the same thing. They just copied what PUBG did and did it better, I guess. Now it's the biggest battle royale game in the world. Was about to time out Akira too. Yeah, I got too much. Sorry about that, dude. It's cool that you're working on a bot, but we're doing a thing here. Ghost of Tsushima leveled up Assassin's Creed for sure. I haven't played it. Maybe I should try it. Anyways, going on to our next story, which is actually a two-parter to this one. De Novo DRM is included on PC for Crimson Desert. So Crimson Desert's coming out like next week. And in further bad news, the Steam listing was updated 7 days before launch to include that the game will have the controversial De Novo anti-tamper DRM included. This has resulted in a strong backlash from the community. Pearl Abyss has defended the use of DRM, claiming that it has no effect on performance and that users should not worry about it. This is one of 2026's most anticipated games, so both controversies back to back is a huge blow to their momentum. And here you can see, this is from the Steam listing. It says incorporates third-party DRM De Novo anti-tamper. And it says 5 different PCs within a day machine activation limit, which is like, I guess that's reasonable. But the DRM is the unpopular part. And a lot of people do not like DRM because or number one, it looks at a lot of the shit on your computer. Like DRM is very intrusive. And then B, people are concerned that it has performance issues. They're saying that it doesn't have performance issues, which I don't think is true at all. They say that in their testing, they tested the game with DRM enabled, so you're not going to have lower frames than what they tested it for. But no one's actually going to know how much better it would have been without DRM. So that's kind of the problem. And immediately you have posts like this popping up on their page. So this is the Steam community tab for the game. This is like the #1 post right now. It's De Novo equals pre-order instantly aggressively canceled. Devs, this was an absolute waste of your money. This game will be cracked via HV day 1. De Novo will not help you and you have lost buyers. Good luck. And this has 705 comments when I took a screenshot of it. It's probably more now. And everyone's kind of agreeing, not to mention offline activation cracks. Paying customers get the worst version. Clown dev. It's De Novo. Billions must refund. Thanks for the heads up. I will not be paying for trash DRM crapware. So people are, like, this is a big deal to a lot of people, and it's not helping the game at all. It's the same genre. There were many battle royales before Fortnite, like H1Z1. That's true. H1Z1 was probably one of the worst implementations of the genre, though. It was still like in its infancy. PUBG was the first game to like actually fix the style and make it like reasonably good. And then PUBG walked so Fortnite could run. But anyways, with this De Novo DRM controversy and the day 1 patch controversy, it's just like these were like days apart. It was insane. I'm still playing PUBG. What are you, Chinese? What the fuck? I'm pretty sure that game's like only popular in Asia right now, mostly in China. Anyways, I thought this was very sad because Crimson Desert looks like it's a really good game, and this is not helping them. And obviously, I mean, this post it exploded. Look at all these fucking Reddit Gold awards or whatever the hell they put on this. Like, this is crazy. And you know, I still think the game's gonna be successful. I don't think this is gonna stop the game from doing well, but it's not helping it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a good thing when your game hasn't even launched yet and people are already saying that they don't want to play it. Like, that's not good. The amount of people that they're going to lose from these 2 controversial changes, or I guess not, the first one was not really a change, but something like this is there's at least one person that's not going to buy the game because of this. I would say more than one, most likely. It's not going to be 0, right? This is not going to affect 0 players. And I've seen, like, the main issue that people have isn't even necessarily the fact that it has De Novo. It's the fact that they updated it 7 days before launch. Because it didn't say that it was going to have De Novo before. They kind of stealthily added that, like a week before launch. And that's just, I don't know, it feels sneaky. And I think a lot of people feel the same way. Anyways, moving on to our next story. Sony fears Valve's Steam machine. In further news on our developing story about Sony ending their PC releases, former Bluepoint Games head of technology Peter Dalton has weighed in with their theory for the decision. Peter's argument is that if Sony continues porting PS5 games to PC, the Steam machine could become a better value compared to their own console. Former Blizzard president Mike Ybarra agreed that the Steam machine could be a significant threat to the PlayStation dominance in the high-end console market. I think H1Z1 is one of the OGs that made it boom. Maybe. I thought H1Z01 sucked butt, to be honest. I thought that game sucked. That game was like Fortnite. The original game was terrible, and then they turn it into a so-so battle royale, which was like, okay. It was big on Twitch. I remember. I don't get me wrong. I remember H1Z1. I just think that it was like buggy. It was weird. It was just not finished. It was a half-baked idea. Even PUBG was really buggy and half-finished. Fortnite was actually Fortnite was shockingly stable when they released their battle royale. That was the weirdest thing about it, because every battle royale before Fortnite was like glitchy and buggy and had bad performance. Fortnite just worked, and people were like, "There's a battle royale that's good." I don't know. We don't have to get into that. There's so many bad battle royales from that era. That was a weird time. Anyways, I read an interesting take on why Sony may be pulling back from pushing PC releases and instead focusing more heavily on exclusives. Some people frame this as a response to Xbox, but I'm not convinced that that's the real driver. A more interesting possibility is the rise in Steam-based console ecosystem. Consoles largely exist because they provide a cheaper, simpler alternative to gaming PCs. For most households, a dedicated gaming console is easier to justify than building or maintaining a high-end PC. However, if Valve releases a new Steam console that provides a console-like experience while giving players access to the entire PC library, that could become a very compelling option. In that scenario, if Sony were releasing all of its games day and date on PC, the Steam console could effectively offer the best of both worlds: console simplicity with the full breadth of PC gaming. It would be quite ironic if, after decades of traditional console competition, Valve ultimately ended up winning the console war, which I think is, honestly, that makes more sense than all the other theories we've heard so far. Not really with the current climate of the hardware costs. I don't really see the Steam machine doing well unless they can make it really cheap. But in a perfect world where the Steam machine could launch with like no RAM price hikes or anything like that, and it was getting PlayStation games on it, I don't really see why people would buy a PlayStation. You know what I mean? You can play PC games, PlayStation games, and Xbox games on the Steam machine. Obviously, that would be the better choice, especially if it was cheaper or even just around the same price. Remember when I said clip it be over 1,000? I mean, that's on the low end right now. 1,000 would be on the low end with the current RAM shortage and GPU costs. I don't see it being cheap at all. I don't see them releasing it in the next 2 years, to be honest. I think the best thing that they could do is just not release it. It's not until they can source cheaper parts. I mean, they can't even make Steam Decks right now. I don't know if you guys remember this. The Steam Deck is still out of sale or out of stock. If you want to buy a Steam Deck right now, you can't. It's out of stock. They don't have any parts to make these anymore. Not at these prices, at least. You cannot make a Steam Deck for $550. If they were to sell the Steam Deck right now, it would be over $1,000. I mean, how much RAM do these bad boys have in them? You've got Zen 2 CPU, 8 RDNA 2 CPUs, 1 gigahertz. How much RAM does it have? Yeah, got 16 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. How much would that cost? Hang on, let me just play around. So 6400 megahertz DDR5 RAM. That's not too bad. You can only get them in 32 gigabyte kits though. So one of these split in two. So it's $200 for 16 gigs of RAM. I mean, that's not good though. It's not good that $200 of this $550 cost would be just the RAM. That's not even including the terabyte hard drive or terabyte SSD. The terabyte NVMe SSD would also be pretty expensive. 1 terabyte NVMe SSD. How much are these going for right now? Oh, just 100. Wait, are they only $100? Oh, that's 512. It's $200. So we already have $200 on the RAM and the SSD. Like, or 200 for each of them. So that's $400. That's $150 to make the rest of the console. Like, that's not doable. So yeah, I don't see the Steam Deck coming back anytime soon until these prices drop. Moving on to our next story. Make money or die. Former Overwatch director Jeff Kaplan revealed on Lex Friedman's podcast the moment he knew his nearly 2 decades at Blizzard must come to an end. He revealed a moment where CFO Dennis Durkin gave, without an E, him an ultimatum: reach a revenue goal or 1,000 employees will be fired. Kaplan pointed out the root of the issue being Overwatch League, which made an unsustainable promise to investors, claiming it would be larger than the NFL. According to him, most of the resources for the game was poured into their league infrastructure rather than into the actual game's development. Heroes, maps, and events were deprioritized, while Twitch integration and spectator cameras were made the priority. Kaplan also said that executives pushed the game to be free to play, like Fortnite, expecting it to garner the same success. And you don't have to trust my word for it. Let's watch the actual clip where he recounts this.
For me, like, what sort of ultimately broke me in my Blizzard career was I got called in the CFO's office, and he sits me down and he says, he gives me a date, which at the time was 2020 and was going to slip to 2021, but at the time it was 2020. And he said, Overwatch has to make in 2020. And then every year after that, it needs a recurring revenue. And then he says to me, if it doesn't do dollars, we're going to lay off 1,000 people, and that's going to be on you.
That's crazy.
And that was just the biggest fuck you moment I had in my career. It felt surreal to be in that condition. And as somebody who's worked on a lot of games, made a lot of games, you get in these meetings where they're like, Fortnite has 1,400 people working on it. If you just hire 1,400 people and make it free to play, we'll make that money, right? And that was, I had believed I would never work anyplace but Blizzard. I loved it. It was a part of who I was. And I felt I was a part of it. And I literally thought I would retire from the place. I never thought the day would come. And that was it. I was like,
Fortnite has been such a cancer on the gaming industry.
We're done here. Luckily for Blizzard, that CFO is no longer there.
Yeah, get rid of Durkin. Whatever the fuck his name was. What is that? Oh, what the fuck? I went back. CFO Dennis Durkin. He sounds like a goober, just with his name. Honestly, it's a good thing that he's gone, but it's crazy that's what Overwatch was going through. You have a bunch of executives sitting there like, just make it into Fortnite. Fortnite makes a lot of money. Like, this is why these AAA studios fail so much. Is because they compare themselves to other games. They don't like look at what they have and say like, how can we make this fun? How can we make this a good product for the people that like this series? And you know, it's unfortunate because you have people like Jeff Kaplan who clearly seem to enjoy Overwatch. He seemed to understand what it needed. He was trying to fight these changes the whole time, and they wouldn't let him. And it's crazy. You got these suits that just ruin everything. Anyways, moving on to our next story, the Highguard retrospective. One of Highguard's lead developers, Josh Sobel, returned to social media to apologize about how he handled the backlash from the game and to offer a retrospective. He had originally blamed gamers, content creators, and commentators for turning the game into a joke. Yep, it was our fault. It wasn't the devs' fault. He did not fully apologize, saying that he stands with the intent of what he said. His account has since been deactivated again, likely as a crash out. I'm sure he didn't get the kind of the post from this account no longer exists. This is what it looks like if you try to find it now. But he seems to have kind of backed out again, like a little pussy, because his account's gone. And he seems to kind of be doing this again and again. We'll see if he ever comes back. He says, since I reactivated my account, I'll address the elephant in the room. My now deleted tweet following the Highguard layoff news a month ago was a mistake. I was stressed, devastated, angry, and running on 2 hours of sleep. It was not wise to take my pain to the internet in that volatile state. Oh, what? So he's immediately trying to make himself a victim, right? He's like, I was so eepy, and I was angry, and I didn't have my nap time or my juice box, and I shouldn't have said what I said. And then he immediately, like, after saying like, oh, I shouldn't have said what I said, he rolls it back instantly. Next sentence by saying, I stand by with the intent behind much of what I said, but I phrased it poorly, and some of my anger was misdirected. I believe that the online discourse around Highguard had some very dark corners that may have accelerated the timeline of our failure beyond the natural outcome of reasonable critique, but it wasn't the primary cause. I don't personally believe the ultimate outcome would have been thoroughly different without it. Yeah, no shit, it wouldn't have been different. The game sucked, dude. It wasn't because people were mean. I like how he's still trying to be like, well, it was your guys' fault. Like, you did make the game die a lot quicker, but it probably would have died anyways. Dude, you're so out of reality, dude. There were a lot of elements involved, and there's no way to know how it would have gone under different circumstances. I restored my Twitter account a few days before the 1 month no recover date because I value the connections I made on. Oh, that's why. So he recovered it and then deactivated it again so he can keep the handle. I'll be keeping replies locked to accounts I follow for the time being because I maintain the rights to protect my mental health. Again, with the victim mentality. It's time for my next chapter. Thanks for listening. Dude, this guy is a fucking child. Like, are we so for real? This guy's a baby. Grow the fuck up, dude. You made a bad game. Deal with it. You know, if my game was so shit that everyone was like, it's Concord 3, it's bad, no one wants to play it, I'd be like, hey, like, I'm doing my best. What can I do to make it better? That's how I would address the situation. I wouldn't say you're wrong, you're a troll, you don't understand anything about game development. It's just the wrong way to handle criticism, and this guy is just textbook example of that. Moving on to our next story. EA fires Battlefield devs. Months after delivering what EA called the biggest launch in franchise history, EA has laid off an undisclosed number of devs from Battlefield Studios, which is 4 studios in a trench coat, under the name Battlefield Studios. Despite the game selling 7 million copies, EA stated the cuts are to better align our teams around what matters most to our community. The fuck does that even mean? That's like the most corporate response I have ever seen in my life. That's meaningless. That's meaningless, like, jargon. It's not, those aren't real words. It would appear player retention may be the culprit, as the game has lost over 90% of its players. Times are rough behind the scenes as well, after the death of Battlefield's franchise head and the sale of EA to Saudi Arabia. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. The game itself is still, like, alive. There's still 62,000 people playing in a 24-hour peak, dropping down to 17,000 at low hours. They firing gals and hiring bras. That's what I thought when I read it. What? Okay. Anyways, the reviews are also not very good. They have mixed reviews on Steam, so it could be better. Hiring sweaty gamers. Maybe better align our teams to represent gamers. I don't think that's what it is at all. Get out of here. Sorry, someone's spamming me about wanting to buy bots. Or hiring AI. Probably that, honestly. Better align our teams around what matters most to our community. It's like, that's just such a nothing burger of a statement. You know what I mean? Like, that's like textbook of like how to say something as a corporation without actually saying anything. And keep in mind, this is a statement about firing people. Thanks, Mo. So I don't know. I thought this was a fail. This honestly should have been in the fail thing, but I'm tired of doing fails about companies firing people because it's just like we've all heard it before. We're all aware of it happening constantly, so it's like whatever. Anyways, moving on to our next story. The insane Valve stats. Valve's Steam year-end review for 2025 revealed some insane data. Users downloaded a shocking 100 exabytes of games last year, which is 1,000 petabytes or a quintillion bytes, to put into perspective. Every day, Steam users average 274 petabytes of data. The platform has also reached a peak of 42 million concurrent users. That's so many people playing any given day on Steam. New revenue tiers have also resulted in developers receiving 76% of the share. So I guess there's different revenue tiers based on how much you make with your game. So there's a higher amount of people getting paid. Like they're paying out more to devs than they've ever done in the past, which is cool. Gabe himself has purchased a $500 million super yacht with a submarine garage, an onboard hospital, and 15 gaming PCs. And from what I heard, he fucking lives on it. He just lives on his fucking yacht, dude. And that's crazy. Steam's urine review. Yeah, their urine review. They gotta make sure that you're not doing any drugs. So this is just such a W. Like honestly, it's a W for Steam because I think it's cool that it's growing, and Steam has so far not done anything to me to make me like distrust it. I'm worried that in the future they might because they have so much power. They're such a powerhouse. But Steam is so strange in that it has the largest market share on the PC market and doesn't do anything malicious with that. And they don't have to because they make so much fucking money, dude. Gabe himself literally spent $500 million on a boat. Like, that's so insane to me. It's $500 is so much. I know like money doesn't mean anything to people anymore, but $500 million on a boat is crazy. Like, most expensive yachts. What are the most expensive yachts in the world? $4.8 billion for the History Supreme. What the fuck? It's adorned with gold, platinum, and dinosaur bones. Who the fuck owns that? Who owns that? Does it say who owns it? So that's the most expensive yacht, is 4.8 billion. Second is the 1.5 billion yacht. Then this one, the third is 600 million. Dude, he's in like the top 10 most expensive yachts. Wait. So the Topaz number 5 is 527. So Dubai, a city on the sea. So his yacht is number 6 now. The 6th most expensive yacht in the world. That's crazy. Is Gaben? I don't like his things on here. This is from 2024. So, dude, Gaben now has the 6th most expensive yacht in the world. That's crazy. Wait, what? Is Caveman still talking to his bot, but it's like connected to my chat? It says Akira the AI, which is like a hashtag thing, so I'm assuming he's talking to it in a Discord. Hello, welcome. Hey, Rexy, how are you? It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. What's good? You dropping in here for the dev talk? I'm good. Oh, it's great. It's awesome to see you again. Dude, the bot has to. I'm sorry, I have to time it out again. Like you cannot make the bot respond to every single message, dude. That's so spammy. That's gonna literally double the chat. You beat me again. I'm not even anti-bot. Like, I have my own bot, but my bot has like strict rules that it follows. It doesn't say too much text, and it also only responds if you talk to it. It has an auto response where like after like a set amount of time you can set it to whatever. Like every 10 minutes it might say something, just to be like, hey chat, what's going on? Just to try to get people to talk. But like, dude, making it so like anybody talks in the chat, it automatically responds is crazy. You also didn't ask for the bot, lol. Yeah, I don't think he's even in the chat. I think he just has it in my stream. Anyways, moving on to our next story. This is our final story for today, and this is actually an opinion piece, something that I wrote myself. We don't have any sort of like story that happened out of this. It's just something that what? Did we just get us? Oh, okay, never mind. It hasn't shown up yet, but I think we just got a sub. Opinion: Google to ban ad block.
I look pretty.
There it is.
Can I have
Thank you
subscribers?
So much, Rexy. Oh wait, 14 months. Wait, have you stayed subscribed this entire time, even though you weren't like in the stream? Holy cow, dude! Thank you, Rexy. That's amazing. I think Rexy's like he hasn't been in a stream at least in chat for a while, but I think he's been subscribed. Yes, I did. What a trooper! Oh my gosh! Thank you so much. Thank you for all the ones that we didn't thank you for. Oh my gosh, that's like months of subscriptions. Anyways, going back to our opinion piece for this week, my opinion is that Google will ban ad block. With YouTube's ongoing war against ad block users, the question is, why doesn't Google just ban the add-on from the Chrome web store entirely? The answer is that it does not need to. With Manifest v2 or MV2, ad blockers were efficient with blocking most ads. However, Google introduced MV3, which strongly limited their ability to block ads by changing the extension framework. And then here's a quote from the Electronic Frontier Foundation. Let me move my head so you can see it. Manifest v3 is another example of the inherent conflict of interest that comes from Google controlling both the dominant web browser and one of the largest internet advertising networks, which is, like, when you think about it, a huge conflict of interest. So much so, it's like, wait, why would they even allow anybody to block ads? Screw ads, right? Yeah, that's why you guys should subscribe. No, I'm kidding. Welcome in, Skittles. How you doing? Screw you. Dude, when you think about that conflict of interest, it's like, wait, why is the biggest browser allowed to also have the biggest internet advertising network? It's such a conflict of interest. That's like if your dishwasher company also owned the water company. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, we're obviously just gonna use triple the amount of water that we need to wash your dishes then, so we can charge you more for the water. Like, that's such a blatant conflict of interest. You know, I would honestly go as far as to say that Google should be broken up, and that the browser side should become its own company, and the advertising side should become its own company. In the same way that Amazon should not be able to have their internet hosting site, their AWS should be its own company. Like, it's such a conflict of interest when you have these internet spaces that also own the spaces that they're operating in. Like, it's a problem. Anyways, moving on to our next part, the fallout. So uBlock Origin, a gold standard in ad blocking, has been a major casualty of the end of MV2. So when they canceled their support for MV2 and moved to MV3, there was a limited option version of uBlock Origin Lite for Chrome that blocks less ads, with the full version still working on Firefox and Brave browsers. This is because the extension does not allow these ad blockers to get enough information to block the ads, so they kind of work, you know, half-assedly now. And you double that with YouTube's ad block detection that disables content for users with it on, and there's the repeated DMCA takedown for GitHub projects related to fighting the content disabler. Then you just have like a really bad problem where, like, it's very difficult to actually block ads when you're using Chrome and when you're using these extensions. Or if you're even trying to build your own extensions or get around the MV3 MV3 framework. you're just a corpo hater. I love conflict of interest. Yeah, it always adds some sort of unique and interesting reality to life, you know? But it is kind of concerning that they're doing DMCA takedowns on people who are trying to make projects that allow people to get around the ad blocker detection. And it's just, I don't know, it's such a problem. And it seems like, I don't know, I really think that people should stop using Chrome. I think that's like the best solution here. Moving on to our next part is how to fight back. You know, on the topic, currently the optimal route is to use Firefox with uBlock Origin, since Firefox has continued to support MV2 extensions. On Chrome, paid options like AdGuard and Blockify still work for now, but they have some trade-offs. While it's not an outright ban, the use of adblock extensions, there may as well be one in spirit. Whether or not Google will take a stronger approach in the future remains to be seen. And that's kind of the real question is like there still is some level of ad blocks working, but at what point does Google just say, yeah, we're banning this from our app store, from our web store? You cannot. They could just update their terms of service and be like, yeah, these aren't allowed anymore. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, especially with like how YouTube is fighting back. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you use ad blocker on YouTube, let me see. I have ad blocker. Let's see what happens. What's the most ad friendly video I can pull up? How do I go to like the popular tab? Do I not have a YouTube? Oh, here we go. Let's do YouTube Sports. Oh my gosh. Here's a clip from NBC Sports. This will definitely have ads on it. So I have no ads. I have ad blocker on.
Should be an absolute cracker of a game, Ted. We've got two teams.
Do you see how choppy it is?
For 3 points to avoid relegation. What are you looking forward to?
Well, I'm looking
the whole thing is not working right. And then it's not doing it now, but sometimes it'll actually show that comments are turned off. It won't even let you comment anymore if you have ad blocker on. And I've been using AdGuard, which is obviously blocking ads, but they slow down everything. It causes a lot of issues, and it's intentional. They don't outright block you from using ad block, but they'll like slow down your service, and they'll make it like they'll make it very unappealing to use with ad block. Don't get ads. Instead, I give Google all my money for the ad-free experience. I wouldn't give Google shit. They have plenty of money. They can go fucking suck my dick. Welcome back, Kezi. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. I think that we should do more to fight back against this, and I honestly might switch to Firefox in the future. It sounds like the better choice. Is Firefox a Chromium browser now? Firefox. What would you call this? Firefox Chromium? Okay, so Firefox isn't Chromium. It's not based on Chromium, the open source browser project at the core of Google Chrome. In fact, we're one of the major browsers that isn't. Okay, that makes sense then. So yeah, I think the future is Firefox. Firefox and DuckDuckGo. Anyways, moving on. That is all we have for our news this week. Let's talk about our community time. And our community tip is to find your team. Talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships. By Michael Jordan. When, for example, like, a lot of us have worked on projects together, like fun little side projects. We've helped each other with music and all sorts of things. It's really awesome to have people that you can rely on. It's better than being a lonesome loser, like the Unabomber. So it's really cool too when you work with people that you don't even know. For example, the situation with the two games that released together with the same names. It's really cool that they worked together and that they didn't have some sort of beef. Instead, they used teamwork to benefit both games. Mo wins championships. That's why you put MoCowDev on your team. That is true. He is a championship player. That is very impressive. Moving on to our community stuff. Oh, well, I thought Mo would be first, but it looks like it's... we'll come back to Kezi. Let's start off with Mo's mastery of the wheel. Mo did win a championship. He got a certificate that says, it proudly presented to Maurice Handworker. Oh, he just gave away his name for achieving an overall first place in the S23 GT3 Beginners. What is this game called, by the way? Pitskill.io. And he played on various tracks, and he did the event on March 15th. Mo is very good with his sim racing setup, and he's getting better every day. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, if you need someone on your team, shout out to Mo. He's the one that you need. Anyways, let's go back and take a look at Kezi's multiplayer project. Are you still here, Kezi? I have questions about this. Kezi's been working on this game called One Versus, and it's like multiplayer. Already has a battle pass, which is so EA pilled. It has a chat too, which he says works. Wagwan Mai G. What? That's cool. I drove with the library I posted on Discord, so I was advertising you. Hell yeah. Hi there. Steam name. Chat rapping being weird as fuck lol. Been working on main menu UI today and pause menu and chat. That's cool. Oh my gosh, it's back. There's another video that shows two people in the game. I think I saw that. Didn't we take a look at that last week? MGK Manchester. Dude was so into the show. He had to watch. He had to listen to it also on Spotify. Wait, is this it? No, this is not it. Where's the video of two people? Oh, here it is. I think this is it, right? Yeah, this is the multiplayer working. That's really sick. Who is this Akira? It's someone's AI. Caveman, are you still here? Why do you have your AI just spamming my chat? I don't want to have to ban it, but it's getting to that point where we're gonna have to start banning it because it doesn't stop. Yeah, Mo just timed it out. Spamming. Pemi bonk. That's very cool. Good job. Honestly, your turnaround time with making multiplayer projects is really impressive because multiplayer is difficult to do. So that's really sick. Anyways, that is all we have for this week. Hopefully I will see you guys next week for the next gaming news, or maybe we'll see you in the VOD. I think we'll probably have to see Kieran on the VOD because I think Kieran fell asleep. I don't know. We saw him earlier in the stream, but he's been gone since then. It's all done through DB2, no dedicated server. Interesting. Don't know what the hell that means. I don't know anything about Unreal Engine, so the dev process is weird to me. Bro said, "Is Kezi here? I have so many questions. Ask no questions." Oh. Okay. All right. Sorry, I forgot. I like how you're still listening to MGK Starman and the share your works. I can see exactly what you're up to. Is this, what kind of game is this? Is it a shooter, or is it just, are you just chilling out? What is one versus? What is this to you? Is it a basketball game? Have you ever seen Shaolin Showdown? No. It's a game of all time, Zen. What the fuck? This looks familiar. Does this play on like the Disney Channel or something? That was a game? You know that clutch or gay moment on Val? That pressure you get? Well, every game is like that 1v1. That's cool. So, I mean, not to tear you down or anything, but every game is a 1v1 in a lot of other games too, like Guilty Gear or like Mortal Kombat or like Street Fighter, winner takes all. You wager your artifacts / abilities. That's interesting. That's pretty sick. So my next question is, are you gonna finish this one, or is this just another tech demo? Because you're starting to go down the current route where you just you do so many. I'm committed. Then okay, all right. I don't mean to question you. I'm just, questioning you. Anyways, that's cool. I hope we see more updates to this, because it's really cool that you got the framework down so quickly. So I guess we will watch your career with great interest. Anyways, everybody say goodbye to YouTube. Bye, YouTube. Bye YouTube. Say goodbye. Bye. Everyone say goodbye to YouTube. No one say any sort of slurs or curse words or anything mean. Everybody be
rough.
Everybody be nice. Everybody be nice, okay? Fuck YouTube.
Fuck
there
YouTube.
It is. I fucking knew it. I knew it. Oh, there it is. Fuck YouTube. Everyone say fuck YouTube. Okay, bye YouTube. Fuck you.